let me introduce the new connexas add-on that we have, our URL jumper. So the URL jumper is a tool that enables you to display documents in SAP, not only with the SAP standard viewing components like the SAP document viewer, but also you can create a URL in SAP that jumps to the Alfresco Share environment. And the first one is that we can open, for example, a folder in Alfresco that we created. For example, it's a folder for an invoice, and you see then all invoice-related documents for this invoice, so the folder that we created there. The second option would be that you open directly a document. So we can also create a URL in SAP to open the document in the Alfresco Share from the SAP Business Object. And last but not least, we also have the option to open a query in Alfresco Share. This one would then result that you find all documents that do have the SAP Business Object ID, like the invoice number. So you see that we have three different options to connect the SAP world also to the Alfresco Share environment for documents, folders and queries. Now let's have a look how this looks like in the real life.
Let me start the scenario on the SAP side. So we are in an invoice and we check the attachment list for the invoice and we see that we have a document attached. Obviously, we can display this document directly in SAP, so that's not new, but of course we are completely integrated to SAP. The new thing is that I want to show to you that we can also display this document in a different way. So we can have here also a URL available that directly points us to the Alfresco environment. Therefore, let me show what is on the SAP's on the Alfresco side. On the Alfresco side, we have our documents stored in a special folder structure that you can build based on metadata. For example, here we build a folder structure for the content repository and then for a different SAP object, so in our case it's an invoice. And if you remember here the document number, you see this is the invoice where we store all our documents. And now you see actually here are the documents, the PDF that we have seen before, and also a note that has been attached to the PDF. But now it's interesting to show you something. We have the chance to tell the system, hey, please, invoice folder for this invoice number on the SAP Business Object. So this is included here on the Alfresco side. So clicking on this button, we get here the successful message. So this has been added now to the SAP side. Of course, I did this here manually. You can imagine we can do this automatically upon every document arriving from SAP. But in our case, let's have a look again to the SAP side. So we check again now what has happened in the attachment list. And now you see that we have a URL entry for this. And the URL entry now opens Alfresco Share. And in our case, we decided to do the customizing in the background that we open Share with a query. So now SAP sends over the request, please show me all invoice related documents to our actual invoice number. Now the result is maybe not so astonishing because of course these are the only two documents that we stored with this invoice number. We have our faceted search, but the interesting point becomes if you store more documents for this invoice, for example, to Alfresco. And now from this point on, of course, you can continue to work on the Alfresco side in Alfresco Share with the options that you're allowed to do based on your authorization. So typically the authorization is of course very restricted to SAP related documents, but theoretically you can adapt the authorization so that you can continue with all the powerful Alfresco Share environment. Please check out our website to see more information about our add-ons, especially for the URL jumper, and all about our products that you find also videos and more information on this site.